Hello, my name is John, and I'm here to talk to you about marketing ROI. After this video, you should learn everything that you need to know to get started on effectively tracking and measuring marketing ROI, or return on investment for your business. By the end of this guide, you should be able to do the following. You should be able to understand marketing ROI, calculate marketing ROI, and measure marketing ROI. You will also be able to link paid ad spend from platforms such as LinkedIn ads and Google paid search to offline sales. You will also be able to set up Hubspot CRM to track ROI by channel. Lastly, you will be able to set up your website to track marketing ROI without the CRM or a CRM that does not have a tracking code. This video will be split up into 3 parts. The first part will explain marketing ROI and how UTM parameters work. The second part will go through how to set up your Webflow website and HubSpot CRM to track marketing ROI. And the third part will go over how to set this up using a first-party cookie. Links to the separate videos will be posted in the description. Feel free to skip this explanation and watch those instead. But first, let's go over what is marketing ROI. So marketing ROI, or return on investment, is a measure of how your marketing cost is returning in sales and revenue. This metric is super important because you want to make sure that the money spent on advertising is actually leading to sales. Otherwise, companies would be spending more than it's bringing in. So the next thing I wanted to review is how to calculate marketing ROI. I know there's 2 formulas on the screen here, but let's focus on this first formula right here and just ignore everything on the bottom. Let's calculate marketing ROI. You will need to first subtract revenue minus total marketing costs. Once you do that, you then divide the output by total marketing costs. To express this number as a percentage, you would then have to multiply by 100. So let's review a practical example in a real world situation. So we'll navigate over to this side of the board here. So first, let's say that you achieved $100,000 in revenue from 5 sales. So we had $100,000 in revenue. Your marketing cost included $5,000 from LinkedIn ads, and then $10,000 in Google ads. You spent total marketing cost $15,000. So we have $5,000 plus $10,000, $15,000. They went to your website, they submitted a form. Those leads were entered into the CRM. And then out of those 20 leads, you got 5 sales. So how would we calculate this example? Well, we would take our total revenue generated from those 2 campaigns, which is $100,000. We would then add the 2 marketing costs, the $5,000 from LinkedIn ads and the $10,000 from Google ads, and we add that up to 15,000. So we subtract 100,000 minus 15,000, and I believe we get 85,000. And then we take that output and we divide that by total marketing costs again. And then this would be displayed 5.67 if we wanted it to be expressed as a number, but we want this expressed as a percentage. So we're going to take that output and multiply that by 100, and we get 567% marketing ROI. And if we wanted to express this as a ratio, we could just simply round up the 5.67 to 5.7, and we get a ratio would be 5.7 to 1 marketing ROI, which when we display it as a ratio, it just means that for every dollar we spend in marketing, we're going to get approximately $5.7 back in revenue. So that is actually good because the recommended marketing ROI that companies should strive for is a 5-to-1 ratio. So in this example, we're slightly above that, which is great. So let's go over some other ROI examples, or I should say what is considered exceptional, what's considered good, and what's considered acceptable ROI. So exceptional ROI, you're looking at a ratio ratio of 1,000% or 10 to 1. Achieving this ratio is considered way above industry standard, and your marketing is essentially locked in. A good ROI, and this is the ROI that most companies should strive to achieve for, is 5 to 1. Having a marketing ROI of at least 500% is considered healthy, and then acceptable ROI would be an ROI of 200% or 2 to 1. This is the minimum amount of marketing ROI that is accessible. And I know what you may be thinking. Isn't 200% ROI considered great when thinking in terms of investment? It is, but when you're looking at this from marketing ROI, it's not that great. This is because marketing ROI excludes the cost of other business expenses, such as cost of goods sold and operational expenses. Your marketing ROI needs to be way above this in order to provide a safe margin for your business. So based on our previous example, one could say our marketing ROI is great because it's above 500%, which is considered what is recommended. However, calculating marketing ROI this way only gives us part of the story. So in this example, we took total marketing costs from both LinkedIn ads and Google paid search ads and added them both to come up with our total marketing costs. This is what most agencies do. However, this does not give us the full picture on our marketing performance and does not help us determine next steps to take to improve ROI. So let's see what our marketing ROI comes to when we calculate LinkedIn ads and Google paid search ads separately. So we're going to go down to the new diagram. The diagram essentially remains the same, but in this workflow, we're going to walk through what this would look like when calculated out separately. Same idea. We have $5,000 in LinkedIn ads and we have $10,000 in Google ads. We paid for this traffic to go to our website. It may have filled out a form. That information gets sent to the CRM. So we get like 20 leads out of that. And then out of those leads, 5 of those leads actually led to sales, and we still get the $100,000 in revenue. That's great. But in this example, let's say that we were able to determine that 3 of those sales came from our paid LinkedIn ads, and then 2 of those sales came from our Google ads, right? So now we can calculate marketing ROI by channel. So we're just going to make an assumption that for each sale, it's going to be $20,000 and it's fixed for each sale. So three sales times $20,000 is $60,000 in revenue. 2 sales at $20,000 led us to $40,000 in sales for Google ads. Still $100,000 in total, but they're separated out. So for LinkedIn, remember that we only paid $5,000 in LinkedIn ads. So we're going to take the sales that LinkedIn generated for us, which is $60,000 in revenue. And then we're going to subtract that by the cost, which is $5,000. That gives us $55,000 in revenue. And then what we're going to do is we're going to divide that by total marketing costs. And it gives us 11. And we're going to multiply that by 100. And we're going to get an ROI of 1,100%, or we could display this as a ratio 11 to 1, which is above exceptional, which is fantastic. So this channel is performing way above what's considered good ROI, which is great. So now we're going to calculate the ROI for our Google ads. So 2 sales at $20,000 each, that's $40,000. We spent $10,000 in Google ads. So $40,000 minus $10,000, that leaves us $30,000 in revenue. We're going to take that $30,000, we're going to divide it by $10,000, and that leaves us a value of 3. We're going to times that by 100. And then we get an ROI of 300% or a ratio of 3 to 1, which is slightly above acceptable ROI. So what does this tell us? So based on our results, this gives us a much clearer picture on what to do next. Because my Google paid search ROI is less than the 5 to 1 recommended marketing ROI ratio, I would focus my efforts in improving this channel You could refine keywords or targeting for the Google paid search ad. You could look into improving the landing page design the ads is redirecting towards. You could even run an A/B test to try out different ideas. Another approach would be to budget more of your money towards LinkedIn instead of Google Ads as well. So from this example, you can see the benefits of calculating marketing ROI by channel versus calculating marketing ROI overall. So now I know what you may be thinking. How the heck can I track and measure this? You may have hangups about trying to achieve something like this, especially when your sales are offline. You could even be a B2B business with really long sales cycles with no visibility on if your ad spend is actually doing anything. Well, you're in luck because I'm going to show you step by step on how to do this, no matter what CRM you have or if you have no CRM at all. So the rest of this guide is going to walk you through how to set up your website and CRM so you can not only effectively track your marketing ROI, but you can also track marketing ROI by channel. After going through this technical setup, you should be able to accurately measure which advertisements led to which offline sales. I know this may sound like hocus pocus, and you will be copying and pasting some code, but just follow along this video and you will be able to do this with ease. Here are two ways we can track marketing ROI by channel. So the first way is that we're going to utilize a tracking code through our CRM. So in this example, we're going to be walking through how to do this in Hubspot CRM. A CRM means customer relationship management software, and most CRM software should provide you a tracking code that you should be able to copy and paste into the head tag of your website. If you're a little confused, you're going to see this in action, so just bear with me here. In this guide, we'll be walking through how to do this with Webflow and Hubspot CRM. But please keep in mind that this guide can also be applied to other content management systems like WordPress, Shopify, Squarespace. The workflows to this are very similar to those other content management systems. So this could be used for that as well. Also, if you want a detailed guide on how to set that up for one of those other content management systems, feel free to comment in the section below and I can look into it, or just message me directly and I'll be able to help you. And then also too, one last thing I'd like to mention is that a lot of CRMs do provide a tracking code to do this as well. This isn't something exclusively provided by HubSpot. So if you're a Salesforce or any other CRM, most CRMs do have a tracking code that you can use. So the second way we can track marketing ROI by channel is by implementing a first-party cookie on your website. This way is a little bit more technical, but this guide will hold your hand during this process. Essentially, what we're going to do is that when a user clicks on a link, data on where that user came from will be stored in a first-party cookie. A cookie is a small file that is stored locally on your computer so that a website you visit remembers you. What we will be doing is storing the data where the user came from in a cookie, enter that data through a hidden form field, and then enter that information manually, either in a CRM or it could be in a spreadsheet. So before we go into how we set this up, we first have to talk about UTM parameters. Both methods will require the use of UTM parameters, which are tags added to a URL to track the effectiveness of online marketing campaigns across sources and publishing media. By appending UTM parameters to your URLs, you can gain insight into which campaigns are driving the most traffic and conversions, allowing for more informed decisions. So here is an example of a URL without a UTM parameter. And then here is an example of a URL with UTM parameters. So let's break down what each one means. And also too, a quick note about this tool. This is Google Analytics Campaign URL Builder. I'll put a link in the video description below. You should be able to click on this link. And what you can do is you can enter in your website URL. You can enter in a campaign source, medium, and even campaign, and it's going to generate a URL with UTM parameters attached where you can copy and paste in your advertising. But let's go over what each one means. So we have our website URL, then we have our UTM source. So the UTM source is a parameter used to identify the source of your traffic. This could be such as a search engine like Google, a newsletter, or another referring website. This helps in determining where your visitors are coming from, allowing you to analyze performance of different traffic sources. UTM medium is used to identify the medium which your traffic is coming from. So this is an identifier such as email, social media, or paid search. So we have LinkedIn as the source. And then I know there's two ways we can promote on LinkedIn. We can promote organically, which is just you post an ad on your company feed without paying LinkedIn. Or we could do so not organically, where we pay LinkedIn to promote our social posts for our company. So in this example, we have the paid medium, paid social. So we know that it's from a social media platform and it's paid. And then if we wanted to know which social media platform, we reference the UTM source, which is LinkedIn right here. And then another important UTM parameter is campaign name. This is used to identify a specific campaign or promotion being run. So let's actually review some examples of the board we referenced earlier. So I'm going to zoom in here. This is our LinkedIn ad right here. So when a user clicks on this register button, they're actually going to be clicking on this link right here. Right? So we have our URL, which is metricpathedge.com. We have our UTM source, which is LinkedIn. Then we have our UTM medium, which is paid social. And then we have our UTM campaign, which is Webinar Spring 2024. So those are our UTM parameters for this ad. So when a user hits this register button, the URL that will appear in their browser is going to be this one right here, and it's going to give us some identification information. And then here's the second example. We have Metric Path Edge for our Google Ads campaign. And I believe everyone should know what a paid Google search ad is. It is essentially you're paying for the top spot to be displayed in the Google search engine results pages. A user clicks on our ad right here. The URL that is going to be displayed in the browser is going to be this one right here. They are going to be redirected to metricpathedge.com, which is our main website. We have the UTM source displayed as Google. We have UTM medium, CPC, and this could also be labeled as paid search as well. But yeah, whatever naming nomenclature that you use, try to be as consistent as possible. The next is UTM campaign. We have Web Agency 2024. So I'm hoping that this gives you a better idea of what UTM parameters are and how they're used. So the next section of the video is going to walk you through how we're going to set up Webflow and Hubspot CRM to track marketing ROI.